Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be showing off the new Kairyu Shin water monster. It's kind of support for like the new Umi stuff coming out. There's a lot of support for just water in general with the new Abyss pack coming out, but nonetheless, this is basically the star player here. It's the Kairyu Shin Leviathan. This card is really good. While Umi is on the field, each player can only control one face-up non-water monster. If a player controls two or more face-up non-water monsters, they may send some to the graveyard, so they only control one. And then also during the main phase, you get to add an Umi or one Kairyu Shin spell/trap or one Sea Stealth spell/trap from your deck to your hand. So basically with this card, what you're going to be able to do majority of the time is lock your opponent out. So it is kind of a floodgate in a sense, but there is actual really good support with protecting your back row as well. If you guys have played maybe in Duel Links, I remember Sea Stealth attack at one point was actually pretty powerful. But nonetheless, you also in addition have Phasalia over here. This is a really good other aqua monster that is another water. You get to send an Umi from your hand, deck, or face up on the field to the graveyard, and you get to special summon a water monster from your hand. Just anything. Doesn't have any restrictions on it. Insane. And then when your opponent activates a spell, card, or effect, or a monster effect while Umi's on the field, you can just negate that effect, and then it also gains 600 attack and defense. Really good stuff indeed. So it's basically 2000, so protect itself as long as you're able to go ahead and negate that effect. It does not destroy the card, but with the extra back row and the consistency that you will have with this deck, it's pretty good. And also there's another decent card that this person makes over here. Serious shout outs to him for making the white aura. Well, I forgot about this card. Remember when it got announced, people were really like excited to make it, but then, I mean, it has piercing, so it actually is pretty dang good. And the guy was playing some scrap dinos. But I also want to show you guys some more gameplay as well as some cool combos that you can do in this deck. So now we kind of understand kind of the ins and outs of like the basics of it. But I want to show you guys a really cool combo. It doesn't really matter that the guy's playing Battery Man. I know Battery Man not like the most S tier meta deck, but I think Battery Man is still like relatively decent. So just as a heads up, this deck definitely is a deck that wants to go first, but there are a few tricks up its sleeve that need to be noted, as you could get surprise pranked by it. So this is number 4 Stealth Kraken. It makes it so everything becomes water, and then during the main phase, as a quick effect, you destroy a water monster opponent control. So basically, quick effect, you get to pop one. Now here's Leviathan. Remember, Umi has to be on the field for that effect to be actually activated. Now there are cards like the Sea Stealth attack that do count as Umi. So if it gives your opponent the false sense of, oh, he doesn't have Umi, now he's going to activate Sea Stealth attack, and it's going to be considered Umi over here. So when this card is activated, you get to activate an Umi from your hand or graveyard. So if you have it set up where you can surprise Sea Stealth attack them when you already use the effect of Stealth Kraken, this card goes away, essentially making everything become non-water. With the effect of Sea Stealth attack, you can banish a water monster you control until the end phase, and then this face-up spell and traps you control can't be destroyed. So you basically protect your other cards. But again, this is like a combo that's very important to learn with the deck, as you know, this card is very good. It's going to be able to have that quick effect, and the guy just is like, okay, can't really deal with this. Because remember, at any point he can just Sea Stealth attack, and then his back row is protected, and he will be a-okay, and then his opponent is locked into only having one monster that's non-water. And in Battery Man, you don't really play any waters, right? So I'm going to show you guys some more interesting combos with the deck. It also has some support for Torrential Tribute. This is kind of stuff that was mentioned, I want to say several months or maybe even like a year ago when they like announced Kairyu Shin support. It was like a huge deal. It's like it's a mythical creature that is really popular in Japan, and like it's cool that they are getting actual good support now. It's like actually viable. So Torrential is going to be very popular in the deck. Even though he Torrential himself, he's able to actually bring out double monsters that have the effect of having Umi in its text. With the Kairyu Shin of the Reef over here, it's another one of those OCG cards. But you just special summon up to double water monsters, normal monsters, or monsters that list Umi, and you can get the jellyfish over here, which will have a negation, and then Doom Kraken. While Umi's on the field, you can target water monster you control, except for Doom Kraken, and one monster opponent controls, and you just special summon this card from your hand, and then bounce back the other cards. So I would say this deck is more oriented around a stun deck. He's going to go ahead and get rid of the Sea Stealth attack, go into the 7 cents, but with Sea Stealth number 2, this card also becomes Umi. He has the ability to every single turn, it's just the battle phase. At the start of it, you just special summon a monster that lists Umi in its text or a water normal monster. There are some players that are playing one variant of like the Megalo Smasher, or you can run like the Kairyu Shin that is a 5. which can be like okay. It is not really a card where people are running like Rabbit in, because you kind of need your normal summon in the deck. But we got Doom Kraken over here, where if Umi is on the field, you get to again bounce back the cards. And then we have the Rage, which is a quick play, lets you pop up to the number of level original level 5 or higher. It's okay, and then it also blocks your opponent's zone until the where's it? If you do, zones that were in cannot be used until the end of the next turn. So there's potential for maybe locking down your opponent. Again, that's the whole point of this deck. It's more so, I would say, in the stun variant. So Nagito Holmes over here showing off the other card over here, the Mega Fortress Well. The guy actually goes through all of his deck, so keep in mind you will be reducing the level with a Legendary Ocean, because that's the way that this card works. So he goes ahead and attacks him directly, a little cheeky over there, and at this point he just defends up. I guess he was afraid of maybe potentially, I don't know what you could really run into, but this card is actually pretty good. I'm going to go over this effect because we won't see this card in the next one. But if Umi's on the field, you can activate this effect. Your water monsters can attack directly this turn, so he could have actually done a additional amount of damage if you wanted to. It's just your water monsters, all of them, and then during your opponent's battle phase, as a quick effect, you target one face of monster they control and just pop it. And if this card is destroyed by battle by card effect, you can take a water warrior monster from your deck or graveyard and either add it to your hand or special summon. And what warrior would that be? Well, it was a card they hyped up a while back ago that like it was really weird. Ice Knight over here. So this card over here, it gains 400 attack for each aqua monster you control, and then once during your main phase, you can activate this effect. You get to normal summon another water monster, and then he's going to instantly activate Kairyu Shin of the Reef and then set up the lockdown with Sea Stealth attack, and then resetting this card, which becomes again Umi. So at this point, yeah, there's very few things that some decks can do. Once this card is established, it becomes very annoying. And then on top of that, you'll see what the guy draws into. With Phacelia, you're going to be able to stop other things that would ruin your combo in terms of like your stun, because again, that's the deck. And then you can see that this zone is locked out because he pops it over here because it had too much attack, so you couldn't really get over it. But this also has a bonus effect where if they battle the monster, you can see again he negates that effect. He didn't really have any outs to this, and he needed some extra draw power. But remember, whenever they activate a spell card or effect while Umi's on the field, you get to negate that for basically free, and then for no reason this card also gains 600 attack. So he needed another card, but it didn't really matter. He would have negated whatever draw power he would have the following turn, so he's just like, whatever. He could have maybe set a card, maybe stalled one turn, but the thing is that some decks, they really need that one spell to get, you know, going, and if you stop that, there's really no other option. And then remember, he's got another Sea Stealth attack, so if this card would go away, he would lose out on Umi, but he's going to be able to reactivate the Umi because this card would go to the grave. So what would like ruin this deck? I think like something that would make it so the graveyard doesn't exist would probably be a good matchup against this. Also, a deck that only really has like one monster, Sky Striker could maybe have like a kind of a good matchup. It depends on like, again, the board and the situation, but for the most part, another thing is they can't target water monsters you control with non-water monster effects. So it really is oriented around a stun variant deck. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and include these in the Discord. Big shouts to Nagito over here, as well as Sirius and Diva for all of their different variants. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna link them in the Discord. Pretty much most of them are kind of the same in terms of what they are running. It's just some people like to play Megalo Smasher because at least you can like summon it, and then some people also really prefer running the Kairyu Shin because it is a level 5, which would then allow you to go into the Valiant Shark Lancer, and also the there's one where you get attach one, the Heth Knight over here, where it's a quick effect. You attach 2 materials and attach a number that has a number between 101 and 107 over there for like the bonus. I already showed off the Stealth Kraken. Like, again, it's a surprise thing. It definitely surprises your opponents when they're like, oh, he's just giving me all the ability to go for waters, no problem. And then they make this card go away, and then you're kind of like, oh, now I committed to it. The other card that I wanted to mention that some people I've seen play is Maiden of the Aqua. It just has the effect if it is Umi over here, so as long as card remains face up on the field, it's treated as Umi, so then you can have your other effects be active, but everything else is pretty much shown off in the gameplay that you guys did indeed see. Pretty cool stuff indeed. That water is looking a little bit better, but this is like, it's not necessarily like, I'm a big fan of like the old Mermail deck was like all OTKs. This deck is not OTK at all. It's more oriented around like control, with like being able to search out what you want, and then you have like, you know, your little setup over here. But anyways, like I said, I'll include the downloads in the Discord in case decent if you guys just want to download it. But I'll mouse over the cards real quick in case you guys don't have Discord, or you know, you just don't have the ability to one-click download, or you play on like I don't know, Dueling Book. Now you can, I think, import your files, so that is like one nice change that they have made. But yeah, like I said, I'll just mouse over these cards real quick, and big shout out to all the players for all of their different builds. I know sometimes we didn't see like Mr. Boy or something, but I mean, it's just a small boost of attack. But pretty much the core heart and soul of the deck is getting out this card. The Jellyfish is really good for the negation of the spells, and then you kind of lock your opponent out. If you could just have basically one negation of a monster, in fact, that would be pretty much ideal. But this one over here, where is it? Or a monster effect. Well, again, you have to control Umi, so they only have like, they summon their one monster, unless they're also playing a water deck. You just negate that one effect, and then you're pretty much good to go, as they can't really follow up with other things. That's what would kind of hurt the deck, I would say. But with Sea Stealth attack, you can protect all of the other back row by tributing, usually like Jellyfish, after it's already activated its effect, because like this card is annoying to deal with. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here and do want to see more new Yu-Gi-Oh decks in the future, hit subscribe, turn the bell, and you'll definitely see more very soon. But take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next vid. Peace.